Hey everyone's Jackal Wolf back in Feed the Beasts Stoneblock 3 with another tutorial Let's Play video. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we are working our way through the quest book. Last episode, we created ourselves some crushing wheels. This gives us access to some more raw resources. This episode, though, I was planning on doing the cobble gens. I thought we had access to all the materials required, which we technically do. The problem is, though, when we get to the tier 5, we're going to need a bunch of molten diamond. To get molten diamond, we need blazing blood. There's no other method that I can find to get molten diamond. And the only way I can see to get blazing blood is for us to go back to the Nether and get ourselves some blazes. As you can see, I am not kitted out in any way, shape, or form. So what I think we're going to start with this episode is I'm going to build myself a proper suit of armor. I'm going to build myself a proper weapon. But before we get started, now would be a great time to click on that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. That way you're alerted every time I post a new video to my channel. Also, if you're enjoying this content and you want to support, click on the join button down below. Check out all the perks I got available for my community members, one of which is the supporter shout out. You might have seen those little tags popping up at the bottom of my videos. Alternately, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link down below in the description. But enough about that. Let's get back to the video. So like I said earlier, our first step for this episode is to create ourselves some armor. I thought I had a real winner that was probably the best armor that we can craft at this time. And that was going to be the refined obsidian armor. This one seems to be heads and tails over all the other armors we've got available. Where I hit a wall on it though is to make refined obsidian, we're going to need some molten diamond. And molten diamond is the other bottleneck we got to get up to those tier 5 cobble gen generators. So that one's kind of held me back a bit. Our second best, or at least probably on par with a bunch of the other high level ones though, is going to be osmium armor. So raw osmium was one of the resources we got last episode when we built our crushing wheels. All I had to do to process it was run it through my melter. From here, all we're going to do is take these ingots and make ourselves some vanilla style recipes. So chest piece, pants, helmet, boots. So we're going to go throw those on. Let's take off that chainmail helm. And there we go. We've got full armor there and some relatively good hit points on that armor. It's certainly not as good as refined obsidian would have been, but for a second place bet, it's probably a good start for us. Now, for something a little bit more complicated, we're going to have to build ourselves a proper weapon. Now, there's two main ways to get blazing blood. One, we can run blazes through a smeltery. This is, of course, going to require us to get a blaze spawner. Alternately, what we can do is we can just get the blaze heads and run them through our melter or through our smeltery as well. So the best way for us to get heads is for us to build ourselves a cleaver. Now, the nice thing about the cleaver is that it starts with severing 2, which gives us an automatic advantage for collecting heads. So to build the cleaver, we're going to need a broad blade, 2 tough handles, and then a large plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to our part builder. We're going to make ourselves a broad blade. We're going to make ourselves a large plate. And then I'm going to make myself a tough handle. Now these are just temporary materials for us to make our casts. I've kind of gone through the books, checked out what we've got available, and put together what I think is probably going to be a fairly good starter cleaver. So for the head, I'm going to pick bronze. It's got a fairly high durability and an almost above average attack damage. Then for one of the handles, I'm going to pick Invar, mainly because it's got a 1.2 times on the attack damage. Also because a lot of the mobs out there, the skeletons, the zombies, the wither skeletons and all that are considered undead. I'm going to go with an extra out of silver. That's going to give us the smite feature, which is extra damage against undead creatures. So I've got some of those ingots here ready to go. Now bronze is an alloy of tin and copper. So 3 copper ingots to 1 tin ingot ends up getting you 4 ingots. Invar is also an alloy that is 2 iron ingots to 1 nickel ingot. And then the raw silver is something we got from bulk washing sand. To start, what we're going to do is take off this gold cast. We're going to go create ourselves some more sand casts. That way they're just one-off casts. We're not really wasting any gold. I'm going to go take the bronze, and it's probably only going to be about 4 bronze ingots worth to do that sword head. All right, so 4 ingots melted. Let's go pour this guy. Nope, I am a little short. Ooh, wow, actually, okay, so it is going to take all 8 of those bronze ingots. It's a little bit more than I was expecting, to be honest with you. All right, there you go. And as soon as that cools down, we'll have our bronze sword. Next up, we're going to do the large plate. Now, I said we were going to do this one out of silver. So there's our 4 silver in there. I'm almost confident that the plate is only 4. All right, so that is melted. Let's go pour this in. There you go. Yeah, so that was 4 ingots worth of material. And then last but not least, we're going to do the tough handle. Now, I'm going to need 2 of these, but that's not going to be a problem. I've got an extra blank sand cast here. Let's go throw that invar in there. And while I'm waiting, let's pull that handle out. There you go. So now we got some molten invar. Let's pour that in. As soon as that's cooled, we're going to go make 1 more. Pour that in. There you go. So there you go. So 1 bronze blade, 1 silver large plate, 2 invar tough hammers. Now all we got left to do is build ourselves the sword. Now we can't create it in the Tinker's Station. This just gives us the basic weapons and tools. What we're going to need to do is upgrade this Tinker's Station all the way up to a Tinker's Anvil. Now, to make a Tinker's Anvil, it is a Tinker's Station, 4 seared bricks, or at least seared blocks, and then 3 blocks of alloyed material. Now, I've picked brass here because it's relatively cheap for what I've got available. Now, previous versions of Tinkers had much cheaper anvils available. There's no iron in here. There's no gold or anything like that. Nothing that is easy to get. Stoneblock 3 only seems to have ones that are alloys. You've got to be at least up to a smeltery before you can make this anvil. But we're going to go place that in the world, open it up, very similar to how we built our pickaxe earlier. We're going to click on the cleaver, and then we're going to go 1, 2 handles. We're going to go the large plate, and then we're going to go the broad blade. And we've now got a bronze silver cleaver, durability of 1855, attack damage 10.45. That's pretty good base damage for an early weapon. We've also got 2 upgrades available. So one of the things we can do for the upgrade is add ourselves a diamond. So I'm just going to rob one of the diamonds I had waiting here for us to make the refined obsidian. I've picked up a couple emeralds from the loot bees. We're just going to go grab one of those as well. Come back over to our table, or to our anvil. We'll put the anvil in. We'll add the diamond. We can only do 1 at a time for this version of Tinkers. But adding a diamond on here basically doubles our durability. It improves our attack damage. So we're going to go take that out, put it back in. We're going to take the emerald. Now the emerald really improves our durability. Doesn't do anything for the damage, but it does add some additional neutral damage to this. And actually some additional undead damage as well, which is really going to give us advantage when we're fighting these mobs. And now that I think about it, what we should probably do is make ourselves a shield. So 1 iron and then a Y of wood gets us a shield. One other thing I should grab is a bucket of water to help me push mobs away. Actually, let's grab 2 just in case. But that's going to be it. I'll see you guys next time. Good.